620 CKRM, The Source, Bill Monroe, and Orange Blossom Special. And I thought I'd kick off our number ones and one with that very special song because we've got some very special guests. And I know they're big fans of Bill Monroe and Bluegrass. Joining us is Lee and Elaine the Roys. Welcome back to the Queen City.
Hey, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for dropping in. The number ones and one is we look back and we're going to get to your music and we're going to have a nice little chat. Of course, 2009, 2010, Inspirational Country Music Duo of the Year. 2011, Country Music Inspirational Country Music Bluegrass Artist of the Year. Is that a validation of all the hard work?
We hope so. I mean, it was really exciting and unexpected, but we'll take them all day long.
Yeah, that's another nice little notch on the belt and a nice little add to the resume.
It is. You know, Ricky Skaggs is my hero, and he carried that torch for a good 3 or 4 years, and for us to get handed that trophy from him, you know, kind of passing it down, felt pretty cool, and glad to carry that torch for a year for them.
Were you shaking when he came up and
a little bit?
Here's take this from me.
Just a little bit.
As we can attest there to Bill Monroe, Bluegrass definitely is a test of time and very, very popular. It seems right now, not quite mainstream as of yet. Why do you believe the genre has lasted as long as it has?
I mean, I think right now, I think people are very hungry for traditional music, and bluegrass is where they're finding it. And I think, you know, if you want to find something that's true back to its root, bluegrass is, you know, where people go, and we're just really excited to be part of that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of acts lately. I know Patty Loveless, Tricia Yearwood. There's been a few that have gone to the bluegrass side of things, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
What was your decision premeditated before you got into the bluegrass scene? What were the influences? How did it all start for the Roys?
Well, for us growing up, we were born in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, but Mom and Dad are French-Canadian, so we were actually raised in New Brunswick. And Grandma played fiddle, aunts and uncles played banjos and guitars and mandolins and sang, and so we were around music our whole life, and they just played the old Celtic, Irish, Cajun bluegrass tunes. That's what they... Even if they were covering a Fair and Young, there was no drums, electric guitars, and so they were doing it all acoustic. So for us, I think that's how we really got into the traditional side of music was, you know, they might have been covering an old Fair and Young song or an old, Porter Wagner or whatever it was, but they were doing it acoustically. So for us, it was, it must be bluegrass. There's no electric guitars or no steel guitars, and it just stuck, and that's kind of the music that we were raised on and really took hold. And you know, we're fans of modern country and whatnot, but this is really the music that's in our heart and soul, and very thrilled to be doing it, and so far so good. It seems like it's been doing well for us.
Yeah, well, definitely the passion is there for bluegrass. You were mentioning influences, family, of course, Ricky Skaggs. Who else did you grow up listening to? I know mainstream country as well.
Oh yeah,
definitely. For me, Dolly Parton is my idol. I mean, you know, we were just talking about her going to Australia, and you know, even today at 65 years old, she's still blazing those trails. So to me, as a girl singer, looking up to her is really awesome. And you know, she's never let me down yet. And you know, the George Jones and the Merle Haggards and the Bill Monroes and the Ricky Skaggs, and that's what we grew up on. And
that leaving, grieving, hurting.
that's right.
So being from New Brunswick, I'm thinking some of your songs should be considered Cancun. You know,
we wish.
Then,
yeah, we don't know how that works.
Yeah, well, you need 2 pieces of the pie: music, artist, producer, lyrics.
Yes,
so you need 2 out of the 4. But you guys, of course, are trailing your own blazing down your own trail right now. You guys did all the writing on your brand new CD, or a good majority of it. Who else did I saw there? Robert Ellis Oral?
Yeah, I wrote. There's 11 songs, 10 of which we wrote or co-wrote. And Robert Ellis Oral's a friend of ours, and I wrote one of the songs with him. And just an eclectic group of writers that we've known and written with, and come to admire their work and fans of their work, and got to pen some stuff, and just felt it would be great for this record. And you know, that's the thing when you put a record together is you end up with 100 songs, and you narrow it down to 75, and then down to 55, and 50, and 40. And it's easy to knock 5 at a time, but when you're down to 15 or 16, and you got to knock 5 or 6 of them off, it gets real. You know, you start thinking, well, if we cut this one out, I'm not sure. And so, we just narrowed it down to what we thought was the best songs for this project.
Right. A question I got to ask, and I've always wondered about this. Is it easier to write bluegrass or for bluegrass music, or how do you approach that, writing a good bluegrass song?
You know, for us, I don't think we think bluegrass. I think we just think, what is the best song that we can get, and can we touch people with what we're saying? You know, we always say we have 2 to 3 minutes for someone to listen to our music, and we would rather maybe affect them in a positive way than a negative way, because there's so much negativity out there. So for us, we just think, what is the best song that we can write, and what's the melody, and then we let the guys in the studio bring it to life and give it that bluegrass feel or that traditional feel or whatever you want to call it. So that's how we go about it. I don't know, that might not be right, but that's how we do it.
It's a formula for success. Now, do the lyrics come first or the actual music?
It depends. Some of the stuff, we might have a melody or a hook in our head, you know, and we kind of sit down with the guitar and start noodling around and figuring out what we want to say. And sometimes, you know, we'll have a verse written on a napkin and you start putting music to it. And it just depends. You know, I've got some melodies written in my phone and some stuff just kind of spoken in my phone, and it'll someday become a song, I hope. So.
How many band members did you bring with you?
We have 4 guys. They're coming in today, actually, so they should be here in about an hour.
My next question is, how hard is it to find a bluegrass musician these days?
You know, it's tough. I mean, it's definitely, you know, it's not as easy as finding a drummer or an electric guitar player, but they're out there, and finding the right one, you know, is the trick, is just finding those when you're looking for a fiddle player or banjo player, just finding that one that's really going to fit who you are and what your music is, because there is such, just like modern country or rock and roll, or there's a very wide gap of bluegrass. You can do the old style bluegrass, or you can do what, you know, I think most people are considering us as kind of that Alison Krauss kind of more modern, traditional country, bluegrass, folk kind of thing. And so you're going to find the right players that'll fit that kind of genre, and you know, they're not easy to find, but when you find them, you hang on to them for dear life. So.
Yeah, that's what some of the members of Kentucky Thunder were saying. They were in town. I was asking them, so how'd you get this gig working with Ricky? And they said, well, I pestered him for a long time. Finally, he accepted and got to join the Kentucky Thunder band. I love bluegrass. Is there a lot of venues for you guys to perform at these days?
Yeah, there really is.
Is there?
Yeah, it's really cool for us to be able to bring bluegrass to sometimes a different market. Case in point, like Craven. We were there this past year. We'll be there again this year. To get to play a main stage or the side stage, whatever it is, and bring bluegrass to, you know, a modern country festival. State fairs. A lot of venues are starting to really open up to the idea of bluegrass bands coming in and doing their thing. I mean, as long as you can put, you know, people in the seats, it doesn't matter what the genre is. So.
Popularity is definitely gaining. It's
Right.
It's almost becoming retro cool now. To be,
it's cool to be bluegrass.
It's cool to be bluegrass. Speaking of Craven, how was your Craven experience last year, Elaine?
It was awesome. We didn't know what to expect, but it's like a festival in the US of A. I mean, it was just great artists, great people. Fell in love with the people. We met a few Roys too. Nicole and her father Renee, sweethearts of people. Just, you know, loved it, and it was a lot of fun, and the food was great, and they asked us back, so we cannot complain. We're loving it.
This time you're going to be on the main stage of the Craven Country Jam.
Yeah, that's going to be a blast.
Yeah, and you know, they've got the camping situation all taken care of. Of course, we had all that serious flooding. That's all been looked after, and we got like Brad Paisley, Alan Jackson, and it is going to be a party.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
You want to be involved with. The TV series. I read you're going to do a TV series. We were talking off air. You got to go back to Nashville. Tell us about this TV series. What's it about?
It's ever evolving.
Those are the good ones.
Well, it's basically what it's going to be. It's going to be a show called Roots and Music with the Roys, and it's going to be a stripped down TV show. Really, kind of, you know, let's say we have Ricky on. It won't just be Ricky playing his latest single. It'll be kind of his upbringing and his influences, and you know, he might take the mandolin and play a little bit of a song that, you know, whatever his first tune he learned on mandolin, if you can remember it, or, you know, just things that as artists you don't get to always perform, or questions you don't always get asked in interviews, and let the fans kind of get to know kind of who you are behind the today's artists. And you know, just really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I know the set, saw the set design, looks really cool, and so everything's kind of in the planning stages, and so it's gonna be a blast.
Very sweet. How did this come about? Who approached who, or like to get this TV series?
Yeah, it was through our management company. They had some contacts, and they were looking for an act that was, maybe interested in doing this, and our names came up, and we said, heck yeah, we're there. You tell us when and where, and we'll be there. So it's going to be a great opportunity for us, and we're really, really excited about it.
And we can see it where? On which network?
That's still all in negotiations at this point. So
very cool. My guests are Lee and Elaine. The Roys are in the house. Of course, big Bluegrass winners in the last couple of years here, leaving their mark on the Bluegrass and the mainstream country music trail. You're involved and passionate about some very cool charities that I was reading about. Tell us what's really close to your heart that you're really involved in.
Yeah, well, one of the big ones is Compassion International. When we won the Duo for 2009-2010 ICM Vocal Duo of the Year, they had heard about our music through that organization and approached us about being spokespeople. And we looked them up and we said absolutely, and they said before you say yes, we want to bring you on a mission trip, so you'll see what we do on the field, firsthand. So we went to Bogota, Colombia, and actually got to visit families and how they live in extreme poverty, and how when you sponsor a child, how that letter really affects that child. Who knew? I mean, I never really, I take it for granted, writing a letter to a child, what that really means, and seeing all of that firsthand, and leaving there, even though they were in desperate situations and poverty I've never seen and hope to never see again. What I left with when leaving Bogota was the people were so warm and so grateful and so thankful for what they had, and they had nothing. It really opens our eyes, and if anybody's interested, they can go on the roysonline.com. There's a logo right there for Compassion. They can click and read all about them, and if you want to sponsor a child, it's a great organization. We visited their offices in Colorado Springs and got to meet all the people that work there, and they really, really have wonderful hearts and have passion for what they do. So we're really proud to be part of that.
Very cool. Gives you a different perspective on life yourself, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, when you're on that plane coming home, you tend to realize that sometimes we complain about the wrong thing. So
look at this weather. This is sickening. +1. What's going on? Hey, you brought your guitar, Lee. I would love to have you and Elaine do something for us live in our studios.
We'd love to. Absolutely.
Tee it up. What are you going to do?
We're going to do a song that I wrote for Miss Dolly. She was the inspiration behind this song. It's called Trailblazer. It's for all the dreamers out there just like us. Starts today. Her restless spirit leads the way. It's time to take that leap of faith, chasing dreams that just won't wait. There's no looking back on yesterday. She's a trailblazer, a true born believer, heart of an angel, right down to her
That's why they are the award-winning Roys. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's just a sample of what we're going to expect Friday night, tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
You guys done a sound check yet, or you just got in?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? You're going to love that venue. It reminds me of the Ryman Auditorium. It's just got that nice sound, the balcony.
Oh, cool.
It's a cool venue. Job well done. The Roys, my guests here on Number Ones at 1. On the road with Janie Fricke. Things are going good.
Things are
Going great.
going wonderful.
Very nice. And you're going to get back home to Nashville to spend a couple days there?
Do some laundry.
Well, get the laundry done. Mama,
Yeah, this is day probably 18 of 21. So it's a 3-week run, but it's all good. It's what we've always wanted to do. So
Very cool, very cool. Before I got to read this endorsement off here. I was just looking over some of the talking points that was sent to your handlers. Endorsements: Vietti family style beef stew. How much of that do you eat?
a whole bunch of it, and it's good.
Where's the
Buy some.
samples? That's what I'm wanting.
You know, they're in the right now. They're in the process of actually putting it all as far as packaging it and shipping it out. But we got a couple cases, advanced cases and stuff, and it's actually really good. We did a charity that we're part of called Christmas for Kids, and we're the spokespeople and the co-host for their annual golf tournament.
Oh, very cool.
And we do this big thing with a bunch of ours. We bring our buses out right before Christmas, and people can come and tour the buses and see how us gypsy live on the road. And I had a crock pot outside with a whole bunch of that stew, and a lot of the police and fire and ambulance people that were there kind of donating their time got to eat some. And it was a little cold there in Nashville, so it's all good. It was pretty cool, and it's cool to be part of that family.
Well, I'm hoping to get a sample out of Craven. You can bring
We'll bring some, absolutely.
We'll do that for sure.
We'll throw them off the stage to the fans out there. The new CD, Lonesome Whistle, definitely a passion, a love for the Roys, and I thank you so much for spending some of your afternoon with us. Very appreciative.
Thanks you.
Thanks for having us in, and thanks for spreading our music.
I appreciate that. There's the Roys. They're going to be at the Casino Regina Show Lounge with Janie Fricke tomorrow night, presented by your country concert station 620 CKRM. There is just a handful of tickets remaining, 565-3000. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.